I found a very interesting arcade mode right here. It's called LO TV Unit Tester Online, and it has different versions of it. A unit tester for 1 or 2 players, easily to use unit creator, resource spending tracker, different arenas and many options. Compare unit compositions and costs or practice your micro with friends. Modified by Brandon, WOL version by Killer and modified by Hunter. So this is it right here. We can test various armies, so that stands for Legacy of the Void Unit Tester Online. It's time to test it. Let's go in and do this. To create units, click on icon to create 1 unit, shift plus click to create 5 units, backspace will delete selected units. This is exactly what I was talking about. As you can see right here, here's the arena itself. I haven't played with it much, I have just slightly looked at it. Now you can see tips right here. Backspace will delete selected units. So click 1 unit, shift click, we got additional 5 units, and delete, and delete should delete them, but it does not delete them. Okay, in any case, so let's find out which group of SCVs is going to be better. So we'll make them attack, and let's see how this is going to work out for them. Now, surprisingly, I didn't know which one's going to win, and it turns out that the Terran SCVs were much stronger than Protoss probes. Now that we know the winner, let's find out who would win if I would send Zerg drones versus Terran SCVs. And it's on right there. It looks like Terran SCVs will barely, well, not barely, but they will win. No doubts about that. Okay, so the casualties were much greater. Now let's see if the probes would win against Zerg drones, and I personally suspect that the drones will win. But it looks very equal. However, drones did got the upper hand here. That's it. That's all with drones. Now let's have simple compositions out here. So what would happen if I would stack $20 Marines versus 20 Marines? So I expect a very equal engagement here. No stim, no nothing, no upgrades. we get 4 surviving Marines. Let's do this one more time. The opposing side won with 3 Marines. Obviously, everything is left to chance. Now, you see, the problem with the Marines is that in order for them to be extremely effective, they have to stand in line. They can't stand behind each other because then not all of them are going to shoot. If I order them to move, they always move into this circle right here. And the Marines that are in the back, they won't shoot, and this creates problems. So far I haven't found a way how to make the Marines, or other units in that case, to always move in, for example, such a straight line. Things would certainly turn out to be much better if that would be the case. I would expect the red to win. And as you can see, this time they won with a much better casualty trigger back than previously. Many more Marines have survived solely because they have spread out. Now let's try this again. Let's try to move the Marines as close as possible, and let's keep them already spread out. And in this way we'll try to find out if we'll end up with even better casualty trigger back. The way I look at it, math works a very important job here, because these tend to end up winning with a very similar compositions out there. So quite a few units survived indeed, solely because they've spread out. If they don't spread out, then it's bad. It's really bad. As you can see, only 1 survived, just because none of the sides attacked with spread out formation at the very beginning. Now let's see what would happen if I would put a +1 upgrade. The units are not spread out, and it's game on. Now, due to +1 upgrade, these units, without even spreading their formation, have survived at a much better rate compared to the previous example, where only 1 Marine survived in a case, or a few Marines survived without spreading out. However, quite a few survived with spreading. So now let us spread the formation of the red Terran, and let's see how this is going to work out now. So that means if the soldiers are spreading out, more will be shooting. Not everybody was engaging. I'm not sure just how close they have to move to each other for them to start shooting, so that's obviously very bad. Now this is so far as close as I can get, and let's go, let's see. As you can see, with the spread out formation, a large chunk of Marines survived, 13 out of 20 compared to only 1. And we needed 2 things: a spread out formation, so that's a line where all the Marines instantly engage and start to shoot, and one upgrade solely for the weapons. So weapons are an extremely important part of weapon upgrade. Now let's put another upgrade right there and engage. So now these Marines managed to successfully take only 9 casualties out of 20 solely because they had these upgrades right here. Now I want them to not have any upgrades at all, just like that. Just one thing, I want the Marines to have stim on. Now stim is one of the main abilities that Terrans hold. Stim pack injects the unit with powerful stimulants that greatly increase attack and movement speeds for a few seconds, injures the unit for 10 of the unit's life. Alright, it looks like my Marines have stim and combat shields, which will increase their life by 10. Now let us try and use stim pack versus these right here, who have stim pack but won't be using it, and shields. And let's get them all versus each other. As you can see, that means my units managed to go into spread out formation much quicker, and quite a few of them survive. That's it. Truly good example. Now let's try another thing. I'm going to put upgrades, so that's 3 upgrades. Furthermore, a shield and potential stim pack versus only shield and stim pack. I'm going to get my troops a little bit spread out here, just slightly, and we'll be doing this. Okay, these would get them slightly wounded. I don't want them wounded. Okay, just like that. And let's do this. So that's pretty much stim versus 3 upgrades. And as you can see, not even stim is going to help against 3 upgrades. It's a good example of why upgrades are extremely important. Now for the flavor here, let's add them a +1 and see if that does anything whatsoever. So that's +1 and stim pack barely, but the blue still wins solely because it has 3 upgrades. And once, as I said before, upgrades are extremely important. Now let's do the good old Marine medevac. So that would probably be 4 medevacs. Marine medevac. Now let's find out how things would work out. We'll give them energy and attack. Now my Marines are being healed consistently. And with the strong enough healing, that these marines of mine are able to win this. Okay, now that that's done, let's start a battle. So, swarm host, as you already know, this can be devastating if they have a good composition. Okay, so let's throw swarm hosts against many zealots with stalkers, and everybody has 0 upgrades. Let's do this. Ooh, okay. You see, they need to throw their eggs out. We see, and they're fighting. However, a good question is, will they have enough? Now, unfortunately, the locust, or swarm host in this case, just wasn't effective enough because they have to wait too long, really, to get their locust out. However, they're very heavy unit, obviously. Okay, now they can throw it once again, but this didn't help them, and they fell like mushrooms. Okay, now what else can we have here? Let's take a lot of zealots versus a lot of zerglings. Let's make them fight. So I don't have that many zerglings, unfortunately. There were a lot more zealots. Zealot. Okay. What if I would add more zerglings and would give them a attack bonus, just like that, attack. So my zerglings have a +2 attack, and Zealot does not have anything. This obviously may take a while. Okay, it looks like, obviously, the zerglings lost. So let's give them all the upgrades out there, and it's time to do this. If now zerglings can't win, they just can't win against zealots. That's it. They don't have their speed here, but it wouldn't be of much use, I guess. Speed is good for surrounding enemies. As you can see, zerglings effectively surround. Furthermore, obviously, the zergling army, due to its large high level upgrades, has effectively won. Now where is that zergling upgrade? Right here. Increases the movement of zerglings. Now let's find out if this would make any difference whatsoever. So as you can see, now the zerglings kind of move on the sides here, and that will allow them to much better surround the zealots. And then the zealot will be fighting against more zerglings than it normally should. And this will effectively mean that a lot more Zerglings have survived. So getting Zergling speed, if you want to fight with Zerglings, is a good idea. However, don't know why they called such a massive beast as Zergling. Probably because that's in the first Starcraft, Zergling looked a little bit nicer, I guess. Because this one looks like the last level beast out there. Okay. Now, let's take a look at a different fight. So, that's a few tanks right here. A few Marines. Marauders. And Medivacs. So this is a good army right here. A standard Terran army. Obviously the tanks maybe wouldn't use here due to Marauders. Probably most of the people wouldn't afford building has gas heavy Marauders. Gas mineral heavy versus mineral gas heavy tanks. Obviously Marauder isn't that gas heavy, but it stacks up actually if you are building something else too. But I haven't tested it much. Now we'll go against a powerful force here too. And in here I'm going to get my tanks on and attack. Just like that. Number 5. Obviously their thermal units will easily be able to kill me. Now let's reset this and attack. Unfortunately the tanks take quite